Hi, my name is Yolanda, and I'm from Australia. I was born with a beautiful flame-like birthmark on my face. Mom told me that God took more time to create me because I was that special. But what confused me was that she always made me cover up my birthmark with makeup. It's just track practice, Mom. Is this really necessary? Yes, honey. It's to protect you from people who stare too much. I went along with what Mom said, and even though I always covered up my birthmark, she made me feel like the most beautiful girl in the world. I loved her to bits, and we had a very strong bond. But sometimes seeing the kids in school with their fathers made me jealous and curious about mine. Mom, why don't I have a dad? He left us years ago. Why? It doesn't matter. You have me now. Mom avoided the topic of my father like the plague, and one day I found out why in the form of a letter showing that I was adopted. You weren't supposed to see that. See what? Adoption papers saying a Frankie Brentwood is my mom and not you? I am your mom. A piece of paper shouldn't matter. If it didn't, why were you hiding it then? Mom couldn't explain, so I dashed up to my room and shut the doors in anger. Curious, I browsed up my birth mother and discovered she came from a wealthy real estate family in England. There was an old family photo of a man with my birthmark holding a woman. She had a child with my birthmark in her arm, Anastasia. I think that was me and my birth parents. I saw my father's number on the site and immediately called but received no response, so I decided to leave a voicemail. Hello there. I'm Yolanda. Sorry, Anastasia, and I'm your daughter. Mom's knock sounded on the door, interrupting me, and I accidentally sent the voicemail before I could even finish. Honey, please let me in. I wanted to stay angry at her, but I just couldn't. Fine, you can come in. I'm so sorry. I was scared I'd lose you. Her eyes were so sad and I felt really bad. It's okay. I just wished you didn't hide the letter from me. As I talked to Mom, my phone beeped loudly. It was my father.
Anastasia.
Father? Instead of a response, he breathed loudly, and then the line went dead. That was weird. You called your birth father? Mama's face blanched as she began pacing my room, looking really scared. Her behavior was creeping me out. I didn't mean to call him without letting you know. Listen to me, we don't have time. Pack all your things into a suitcase. Mom left my room in a rush, and I was so confused. Suddenly, I heard the sound of vehicles horning. When I looked out through the window, I found 3 dark-tinted cars parked in front of the house and some men coming out of it. Mom ran into my room and grabbed my arm. Come on, honey, forget about the bags. Before I could do anything, 2 men burst through the door and each grabbed me and Mom, but Mom flung out a pepper spray from her bag and sprayed it at her attacker, making him drop her. Then she ran for the windows, and before she leapt out, turned around to me and said, "Never trust these people no matter what." Who was this woman? I was placed into the back seat of a car without a single word. I immediately started to struggle with its doors, which to my disappointment were locked. My heart rate spiked as the car began to move. What was happening? Hey, where are you taking me to? I yelled at the driver in the front seat, but he simply plugged in his earbuds and ignored me until we reached our destination, which to my shock was the airport. When I got out of the car, I spotted a helicopter and my father climbing out of it. He walked up to me and scrubbed at my face hard, revealing